Well, there's certainly been a lot of thoughts around the brand new first ever done DoorDash Dasher roundtable from, what do you think about this? The base pay. I know, too low. It's as low as $2 up to $10 plus. The new on time rate. Hey, I'm always late. What's going on here? But I am hearing some good things though. Keep that in mind. What about flash offers? If you're in a smaller, medium, maybe eventually, the large marketplaces, you can get flash offers. So I want to talk about that in episode 2 of bringing on fellow Dashers to talk about this brand new Dasher roundtable. And in this video, I have Jay with Travel JB from the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area here. Welcome to the channel.
Glad to be here, Mike. Thank you for having me. Yeah, it's a really exciting opportunity.
Well, thanks for being here again. This is really interesting. This Dasher roundtable, like what, a week ago, days ago, whenever it was, time of filming this video, where DoorDash brought fellow Dashers to their headquarters, and we talked about all this stuff. But firstly, Jay, kind of tell us a little bit about your marketplace, maybe how many deliveries you've done, a little bit about your gig work experience.
So I started DoorDashing during COVID. It was like March of 2020, like right in the thick of it, right when it all began. I was actually with my now wife, and we were like, we can't do anything because it was like, you start dating, you can't go to the movies, you can't go to dinner because everything's closed. So we went to like Wendy's or something, and it said like, we deliver with DoorDash. And we're like, should we DoorDash? Because that would give us like a reason to hang out. So started DoorDashing then and haven't stopped since. I'm at almost 4,000 deliveries on just DoorDash alone. And yeah, I've been creating content for about 3 years. My market, I will say, anytime I create a video or a live stream, I always say that I'm definitely blessed with my market. It's better than most, but just like every market, it has its downfalls.
Appreciate you sharing that. I don't know what it is with Pennsylvania, man. You and me, I'm in Pittsburgh. You're in like the Philly area.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're in Pennsylvania, let me know if it's a good market, because Pittsburgh is, knock on wood, guys, don't change that. It's a good marketplace. Yeah. I know a lot of this is market dependent. Turning our attention back to this roundtable though, let's talk about that base pay. It is $2 minimum. I'll leave another episode link down below, folks. We can learn more from a Dasher who asked DoorDash's CEO about base pay. What do you think about base pay? It's the company's contribution, what DoorDash pays. Then there's promotional pay, if applicable, and then customer tips. Do you think it should be increased? Like, what can they do with this base pay?
It's such like a tough topic, I feel like, with base pay, because a lot of people are coming at DoorDash, be like, oh, the base pay's got to be higher. Let's double it. Let's make it $5. And it doesn't seem like it's that simple, because I've been, I do the other apps as well, and I've been offered $1.50 base pay on some of the other apps. So, as far as base pay goes, I feel like it's so difficult. Like, they released Earn by Time, which I use Earn by Time a lot. I'm just fortunate in my area, like I said, where I would say maybe 10% of the orders are no tips that I get on Earn by Time. But I think that was a good solution to the base pay issue. But, then again, it comes to the tipping and stuff like that. So I think base pay is just such like a difficult thing, and we don't really know what the future might hold. Like, will they increase it? Well, what will that do, to the drivers, to the app itself? So I feel like it's just such a difficult thing to come across, because like they did the Earn by Time, and I think that's, I sit around at a restaurant for 20 minutes, I'm getting paid better than a $2 base pay, but it's just such a difficult, thing to come around to.
It is. I mean, I would love to see it. And even if there is beta test markets where it's like, all right, instead of $2 minimum, it's $3. And even that, it kind of sets off a domino effect of, okay, where's it going to come from? And of course, you and I, and you watching this, and drop a like if you appreciate Jay being on this video. We'll leave his channel link down below as well. I mean, the Dasher's like, yeah, I don't care. Like, DoorDash,
yeah,
just pay more. I don't care if it comes out of your pocket, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, massive public company. They have investors, stakeholders. They have where's it going to come from?
Yeah.
Higher merchant commissions, which are already high. I've seen news stories. Merchants don't like it. Customers. I mean, I see the videos there on TikTok. It's like, yeah, a burrito costs something ridiculous.
Yeah.
So the other alternative is like, well, you guys just pay for it. Like just, shell out more money again. For us, it's maybe easier said than done. There's a lot that goes into that. Let's turn our attention to, I guess, something that is a little more fluid right now. It's changing. Maybe it has more wiggle room. Frankly, we know this has wiggle room because DoorDash told us that it's changing on-time rate. So folks, let us know in the comments if you have on-time rate. I don't. Jay just kind of recently got it here. It measures if you're on time to the pickup, the drop off, but it can affect your rewards status. What do you think about on-time rate, Jay? I mean, yeah, I've had it for a bit here. We hear that like no one basically likes it. So like, how would you envision it improving, et cetera?
Yeah, I think again, like I don't have the rewards, like the point system yet, thankfully, where apparently that plays a bigger factor. But I think there's definitely something that needs to change with the on time rate, because I was telling Mike that in my town on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays in the summer, basically they close down the main streets and they have everyone eat in the city, like eat in the streets and stuff. And you can walk around. It's like a fun thing, but DoorDash in-app navigation doesn't account for that. So all of a sudden a 5-minute drive, I got to go around the main thing and it takes me 9 minutes and now I'm late. So I think there's definitely some things like, if they want to use AI to their advantage and see like, hey, all of these other dashers in this area are being late. What's the deal with that? So like, maybe using that to not penalize drivers where if they see a trend, okay, all of these other dashers are 5 minutes late. It's not just you. What's the deal with that? Is there some kind of accident? Is there weather going on? So I think the on-time rate right now is definitely needs to change, because I feel like a lot of drivers are getting penalized for something that's out of their control, whether it's weather, road being closed, or, slow merchant time.
Sure. And, I did an interview with 2 DoorDash product managers, actually employees, and frankly, kind of like higher ranking, like managerial product manager employees. And they talked about, like what Jay mentioned, AI and looking at, delays. I mean, yeah, if all these dashers are not going the way that we're telling them to go and everyone's doing that, might there be a road closure? Maybe we add self-reported data like, Waze or something like that, where you can report road closures. And I know some of these apps already have that. So I know, like you mentioned, on-time rate, it will affect the rewards program, overall Dasher rating. You don't have it yet. I don't have overall Dasher. We have the original Dasher rewards. So, I mean, going back to the roundtable though, we've talked about base pay. We've talked about on-time rate. Kind of what was your biggest takeaway from that roundtable specifically? We heard from Tony Xu, their CEO. We heard from product managers. We had breakout sessions. We heard from their policy team. What is DoorDash actually doing right now for Dashers based on what you heard in that roundtable?
I will say I didn't know about the whole like Dash routes that they have going on, where it's like an advocacy program for Dashers where they're going to like the government, and basically any Dasher can be a part of this group. It doesn't have to be a select group. Like any one of us could join it and go to local governments and even sometimes federal government and talk about like, hey, these are some issues we're having. And I think the portable benefits, I think, is a huge one. Like giving Dashers some benefits would be incredible, health benefits. So we're not just going out here, whatever we make is now we have to live off that and get benefits too. So I think I thought that was a huge thing. I didn't know that was going on. So I think hearing about that I think that just gives an extra level of, comfort for Dashers that, there's an option for benefits, which is always like a big thing with jobs. Your mom's always like, oh, does a job have good benefits? Well, it's like, well, maybe now DoorDash might have some good benefits coming our way.
And, you make a great point, and thanks for sharing that, because, we're both in Pennsylvania. If you didn't know this, folks, Pennsylvania was the first state where DoorDash piloted these portable benefits. Like Jay mentioned, why might I need it? Hey, DoorDash has said, Tony said this during the roundtable, like a small percent of Dashers are dashing 30 to 40 plus hours a week. Most everyone's doing this like 4 at least active hours, even dash time, it's going to be very similar. Not a lot of hours. But if you're doing this full time, Or if you're doing this when you got let go, maybe for whatever reason the benefits didn't carry over. I don't know. Maybe you don't have a spouse that you can jump on their benefits. In the interim, if you can have a company match or whatever it is, there's some kind of match and there's like an HSA or some kind of fund where you can actually have some money going into portable benefits. As an independent contractor, that's brand new, and they're very bullish on that. That's something that DoorDash is really looking to move forward with. Really nationwide is developing these portable benefits. They actually did a whole report called like The Future of Dashing or something, where they detailed portable benefits, like this. So back to the roundtable here, we saw things like their autonomous Dot. And really, we haven't talked about Dot. Let's talk about that. I've not talked about Dot with a lot of people yet, post roundtable. How afraid are you of Dot? I know I've heard it all. This is the end of Dashers, or it's never going to scale. It's ridiculous, cost prohibitive. Do you think Dot's a threat? 5 years, 10 years, maybe 20 years?
I did tell Tony this. I got a good point in. I was like, if you bring those into Philly, they might be a little bit of an issue, because like there was a few years back where some sort of hitchhiking robot went all around the country and Canada and came to Philly and it got destroyed. So I'd say I don't see any fear in it in at least the next 5 years, maybe 10, because it only can go a certain distance. It can only really has a certain battery length. Like I think it was like 4 hours or something like that, where, people are going out for 8-hour shifts. This thing's going to last 4 hours. It's not even that's half the shift. So I don't see it, because it can't go high mileage. Like maybe in cities, I think it would be a bigger impact, like some of your big cities like New York City or Los Angeles. Like maybe it'll take a few orders, but I don't see anything in the near future for it to be a big issue, because a lot of us aren't in big cities. We're just in areas where, it might be a town, and then you have suburbs and wooded areas. Like that thing's not going to go on just a back road in, in Pennsylvania or out in Kansas. Maybe in big cities, yeah, but not on your back roads of Kansas or Nebraska.
I thought Pittsburgh was I knew it was a smaller city, but like I really got perspective when I was flying over San Francisco, and I saw how, and this is coming from someone who lived in San Diego, like much bigger. San Francisco, absolutely massive. So it really gets a perspective of how much you would really need to scale that thing. I kind of agree with you. 5-10 years, I don't see mass adoption. I don't see mass scalability. I think we're talking 30 years, 20, 30 years, because I think about the same scalability of things like robotaxis, of Waymos, of Tesla Cybercab, of Tesla Optimus, of the NeoBot, the thing that just came out. And the technology, again, there's going to be early adopters, which grab the thing immediately, but true scalability into the societal network, I don't know. Because then you could look at things like the cell phone, which caught fire, and now every single person uses a cell phone. I don't know if it's going to be that convenient. We'll have to see here. But it's kind of finishing up on the round table here. We had a lot of experiences, product managers, CEO. We went out dashing with some of these team members. So anything else that you think DoorDash could do, maybe specifically at this round table? Do you think they were listening? Kind of improvements to the Dasher platform. What do you think we're going to see next?
If there is another kind of event like this, I think it definitely needs to be longer, because, there was a lot of feedback from us, and we didn't get to all of it. We didn't get to all the new things that they wanted to talk about. So I would say the future of this event, maybe make it longer, as well as it would be cool to hear from a merchant, maybe have a merchant or two there, like a small business that uses DoorDash, because as Dashers, I don't know anything about what the merchant sees. Like I've ordered DoorDash a few times, so I can see what the customer sees, but we don't see how it affects the merchant. So I think that would be a cool way for us to kind of see how this affects everybody, like how we're talking about that base pay going up $1. When there's millions of orders a day, what's that $1 going to do for us? What's that $1 going to do for merchants? So I think, yeah, definitely expanding it as far as lengthwise, and maybe as well as how many people are there. Because I think there was like 14 of us, so maybe even just 20. Just get even more perspectives. I think would be a good plus to it.
Yeah, thanks for that. I mean, the more they can listen, the better. You know, we didn't really talk about flash offers, I don't think. I mean, that's something that we definitely wanted to touch on here. Let's finish with that. So flash offers, folks, if you don't know, I just got the email, but I don't have it yet. It's going to be in your preferences tab. So go into preferences where you see like cash delivery, you see shop and deliver. If you have Dash link, it's there as well, but it'll say flash offers. So DoorDash will send you prospective offers when you're offline. So you can be like doing anything, just like chilling at home and this and that, and they send you a prospective offer. You set your availability, like, all right, DoorDash from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. Fine, you can send me prospective offers. So you don't have to worry about going online. So Jay, like imagine you're there, you're in Philly, I mean, you're there at home and you could Dash, but you're not really feeling it. You don't want to commit. What do you think about flash offers?
I actually like it. I haven't gotten it yet, like he was saying, but I think it would be it's a great thing to roll out because they said it doesn't affect your acceptance rate. So, all of a sudden you're getting orders from home where you maybe want to Dash, maybe you're on the fence about it, and you don't have to just turn the app on and all of a sudden you get 5 garbage orders and you have to decline them all. And now all of a sudden, if you want to maintain your stats, your acceptance rate went from 75 to a 70% just because you weren't sure if you wanted to go out that day. So I think the flash offer is a really good installation because it would be a good way for people to kind of test out what kind of orders are coming today. Some days, I can tell right off the bat if it's going to be a good day, and some days I can tell right off the bat if it's going to be a bad day. So I think the flash offers is a good way to kind of test out the waters of the market, whether you want to start right now or maybe 2 hours from now or tomorrow. So I think it's a good way to test it without affecting your ratings.
So I appreciate your feedback today. I think DoorDash, of course, has work to do. They're doing a ton right. I've said for the past couple of years, it's my favorite side hustle gig app. I think they're agile. I think they're doing a lot right. Of course, there's always things to improve. So if you're watching this, folks, share what they need to improve down below because they are frankly watching what's up, listening, and they want to improve the platform for you. And again, Jay, I appreciate your time coming on today.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me. Yeah, like you said, I believe there's a lot of good things, but there's definitely some things that need to be fixed. So I'm glad they were hearing from us, not just from an email or feedback. It's genuine face to face. Like you get to see the people that some of these things might be affecting positively or negatively. So
yeah, very well said. And again, I think they need your feedback. I'm one person in one marketplace. Jay is one person in one marketplace. So what's going to happen with all these comments, things started bubbling to the surface. Oh, we're hearing a lot of concerns about this. We really want to expand flash offers. I hear about it, but I don't have it. I hear about Dash Link, but I don't have it. So all of these, to use DoorDash's terminology, they're signals to the company of possibly what to lean into more, or possibly what's not working, which is exactly why they're revising things that they're hearing aren't working, like on-time rate. So share those thoughts down below. Drop a like on this video on your way out, and I'll see you soon.